I'm back from watching the movie The Conjuring, The Last Rites, and well, I fell asleep twice in that cinema. You know, it's not that the movie was bad. I think maybe I just kind of forgot that The Conjuring is more so a paranormal horror than it is a like slasher or jump scare kind of horror. It's no like dangerous animals or sick or final destination. It's a lot more paranormal. And that kind of horror is just different. And this particular movie, I think maybe another reason why I kind of found myself, because I didn't even intend to sleep. I really entered there with energy, although maybe I was kind of tired, perhaps, and I didn't know. But I think it was also because I didn't really feel peril for the characters. And again, I think it's because it's paranormal. Like, if I just am sitting down here in my room, right, and my laptop starts levitating, that will be bizarre and that will be paranormal. But that wouldn't mean that I'm immediately feeling like a threat of my life or like I'm immediately at death's door. And also in this movie, it seems like the ghosts, the paranormal things that are like attacking them, they're not ready to assassinate this family. And you can tell because if you were really ready to assassinate that family, you would have. Like, what kind of the paranormal, the ghost is doing what? Twiddling with her landline, like raising her toy up, just basically playing games. Like, it seems like the demon is even just like a playful demon that is just maybe tormenting them until things kind of start getting more, I guess, dastardly towards the ending. But for a movie that is 2 hours and 10 minutes, I feel like maybe we could have kind of also another thing I guess is that the movie is a lot more character driven, which is not a bad thing, but it's definitely more about the interpersonal relationships. We see the daughter of Ed and Lorraine, and then her fiance, and how the demon is coming for her. But even with the other family getting possessed, there's a lot of interpersonal relationships and a lot of talking, which I normally don't have a problem with. But when even the horror, a lot of it again it's paranormal, but then also in addition to being paranormal, it's just like I'm trying to remember a scene. For example, something like when the woman is shining the torchlight. No, she sees a man in the shadows and then she goes to turn on the light, and then she turns it on and then it's just a poster. Stuff like this where again it's like paranormal things are happening, but this you just know that this character is not going to die in this scene. You just know that they're not actually fighting for their life. And after some time, again in a 2 hour 10 minutes movie, that kind of gets tired. By the way, if you do not know who I am, my name is Vidiki and I make movie bingo cards and I talk about films. Normally in regular videos, I would do a non-spoiler section and then a spoiler section and use my bingo cards to talk about the film. However, in this particular instance, I did not really use my bingo cards in the watching of this film, and so I don't really have that to use to talk about this not the spoilers. And then also because as far as spoilers go, or like as far as really talking about this movie in depth of like scene by scene, what is there to really say? Like, the scares happened, the movie. What did you think? I'm really absolutely curious. If you have watched this movie, please, what do you think about this movie? I'm so curious to know your thoughts. I will say that there's a lot of positives though. The acting is good from every single person. Vera Farmiga is good. Like Ed and Lorraine, the characters are well played. All of them, even Ida Lorraine's daughter, her husband, everybody's acting performance is good. The families, I think my favorite thing with this movie, I would say that the way light was used to hide things in the shadows was really well done. Like, it just really felt like there was so much lurking in the shadows. And in a horror movie like this, there was also this sense of dread at times. And I do mean in the horror scenes, you have that sense of dread. The problem, as I've said already, is that when there's this constant sense of dread, but nothing is happening. And oh yes, something paranormal has happened again, but it doesn't really affect the character. We have a lot of characters that they're like, oh my god, eyes are widening, but nobody is actually, the bodies are not dropping. Like, nobody is getting, they're not even getting injuries. Do you know what I mean? Maybe, yeah, like one, actually, no, they got some injuries, like a cut on the head, something here, but nobody is. I'm very curious to know what you thought about this movie. I think this will probably be the shortest video that I've done about a movie, but again, it's because I sadly really don't have much to say about The Conjuring The Last Rites. Is it a movie I will heavily recommend? I think check it out if you really like paranormal horror, or if you're really familiar with the Conjuring series and you want to really just check it out, then I guess. But it's not a movie that I would say is my favorite horror movie of the year. I would say I would recommend Dangerous Animals. I would recommend Final Destination Bloodlines. I would recommend um even Weapons, I would say, over this particular movie. But yeah, I don't know. Shout out to The Conjuring Last Rites. I wish I loved it more. I didn't. And yeah. Well, until the next time you see me. And this is really the shortest video I've ever done, and I think I probably will ever do. Actually, never say never, we'll see. But if you want my movie bingo card for this movie or other future movie bingo cards or ones that I've done in the past, then check out my Substack, vdkfilmclub.substack.com. Until the next time, and until the next movie, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.